हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Today, Balam Shakti Pro is not taking. Today we are not having Krishna Chakra Thakur's discussion. Today we are having Gopal Purports. So we have a very important uh, discussion on the chapters. I thought I'll share some very the purpose of this second chapter, what Sudhir Goswami is trying to explain. So this is a very important aspect. Now, Sudhir Goswami, he answered the questions of Maharaj Parikshit, the last chapter of the first song. He asked him the question, and the questions were very important. We discussed. Now, the second canto, when Sudhir Goswami answers these questions, he quickly to the most important answer. He takes to the he does not waste much time. He does not pull so long with description. He says that this whole life is full of meaningless things, but there is one thing that is full of meaning. What is that? Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavya Ichchata Abhayam. So it directly the solution. And then there are things that need to be done in order to get rid of fear completely. If you want to get rid of it, become free from Ichchata Abhayam, then what you have to do? Want to become start chanting. Now, this fear lives in the heart of all living entities. And then now the first chapter of the second canto, he makes a significant addition to this statement, saying that in essence, there is one thing that we must do, not even three things, because in this shloka there are three things. Shrotavya, Kiritavyasya, Asmatavya, Ichchatabhyam. He says no need of doing three things, just do one thing, that will be sufficient. And what says that? Because three things, na, especially yoga, it's very difficult to remember. He says, okay, Harer Namanu Kirtanam. Etan Nirvidhyamananam Ichchatam Akudo Bhayam Yoginam Nipanitam Harer Naman. Just chant the holy name. Even that much is sufficient. There is one thing that person must do is chant the holy name constantly. That is the prescription he gives. Or glorification of Krishna, which becomes our inner consciousness. And it is not something else. When the glorification of Krishna becomes our essence, our nature, that is Harer Naman Kirtanam, it becomes full. Now, in normal state, unfortunately, we know it is impossible always to chant because so many things are there that are disturbing inside, so many things are there that are disturbing us outside also. And that's the reason our acharyas, they they are, what is the main reason why we are not able to chant is because of anarthas and offenses. We are pulled around, and this glorification of Krishna is interrupted, and especially the anarthas. And the greatest anartha is when we start hearing blasphemy of devotees. At the as we are doing holy name, we are glorifying Krishna, the devotees are services, then this is an interruption to the glorification inside. That is the main problem which we are having. Now, as we all know the solution, but we should know that this is a problem which we are facing, and to overcome the problem. We can just little bit conscious, then we can avoid offenses. It is not very difficult because 10 offenses is most of the offenses are because of inattention only. That's what we say. No? All the offenses are because of inattention. If you are a little bit conscious, then we can avoid most of the offenses and we can make very swift progress in our bhakti. That is the method that is given. We all know method, but offenses, because this material world is this in our material self-identification, we constantly identify our one way or another with matter, with our material attachments, desires, or ideas. And we feel that I know best. I understand how things should be. I know what is better. So these are one of the reasons of offenses. The reason for insults is that still somehow we desire to dominate nature, and corresponding material attachment to material being, they continue to remain. And we are all programmed in that way to remain here in this material. Sorry, some technical issue. Uh, this is the that is our state. We are having this material ideas, material identification. They are the main obstacles. In the end, we should think that, oh, because there is always a feel that there is some goals to achieve in life, and there are so many other things to do in life. Especially in chanting, we get so many thoughts. That is a proof that there are so many other goals also, and so many identifications. Why we have many goals? Because we identify ourselves with matter. That is the problem. Like some kind of material needs, because I feel I need certain things. I need a house, I need this, I need, of course I'm not telling we don't need, but our identification is very strong with that. That is the problem. And then we have ideas, and accordingly these things remain in our heart. Something else, we think, oh, for happiness I need car, TV, wife, divorce, computer, and I don't want certain things, and like that. Therefore, Anukirtanam does not work very effectively. And but these obstacles, they constantly block us like that. And now Sukadeva Goswami, he begins to explain this universal form. Now, in order to get rid of this material identification, to allow oneself to meditate constantly on Krishna, so that by meditating on Krishna, we can understand that even what we see around is a manifestation of Krishna's energy only. What are the trees that grow, the sun, whatever we see around, when we are walk around, yes, everything. They are all animals. Everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. If we think we need something else, we should understand that everything that is there is Krishna's only. And uh, now this understanding, what happens is, what mistake we make is, because not seeing action, we continue to suffer, and we need to get. But that is the reason Sukadeva Goswami is giving this type of meditation. Okay, whatever you are meditating, it is all Krishna's only. So ultimately, you need, according to the entire remainder of first chapter of the second canto is meditating. Ultimately, we have to meditate, but because our identification is wrong, now we are meditating on this universal form. And Sukadeva Goswami, he is saying that if one cannot still meditate on Lord as such, and he is still encouraged to see the form of Krishna, of course, slowly, what happens? He will come out of this little bit bodily identification, and he can grow. And now he still does not have attachment to see Krishna. Then he can look into the material world, what things are there, and looking around in that way. He says, okay, now once he comes to, he gives this meditation becomes perfect, universal meditation. He gets this understanding. Yeah, yeah. Then what is this in the universal form? He will see. Now, what about the laptops and mobiles which we are having? Are they connected to the universal form? So this is also we have to see how they are connected to the universal form. How can we relate to this? Yeah, there are some viruses, some sort of microbes in universal from all these things which we are seeing around. There are also some manifestations only. And yeah, computers are also there in the universal form. And television is also there. But there are some microbes or viruses like that. That means when we can be in constant contact with the source of everything, from which it is all coming out, the ultimately it will we understand. I don't need it like that. Now, what happens is uh, the first chapter ends with a very important verse where Sudhir Goswami says, whatever you experience in this world, whatever experience you have in this world, the experience of happiness or the experience of frustration, understand that in the end, you need only Krishna. That's all. This experience should bring us to these thoughts. The all the experience that we have, whether it is experience of happiness, grief, please understand this one point. If you remember, you understood the first chapter. What is that? Otherwise, what happens? Now we fail the exam. You want to pass the exam of first chapter. So this is the way to pass. What is that? I will I will again explain this. In the end, Sukadeva Goswami says, whatever you are experiencing in this world, whatever experience we have in this world, the experience of happiness or the experience of frustration, we have to understand that we only need Krishna. That's all. The experience should bring to these thoughts. Happiness or distress should lead us to uh, that only one conclusion. What is the conclusion? I should not look for something in this material world, but I must finally leave this world. This is the result of proper meditation. What is the result? That I should not look something in this material world, but I should finally leave this world. That is the result. Now a person must become a yogi, and yogi means a person who does not just sit, just uh, slide on the surface of life. That is a yogi. He is someone somehow fights with some experience that comes to him. This is good experience, this is bad experience. I try to reject. I This is a very superficial way of living. Bad experience, good experience, and the so-called happiness. So this Goswami says this is meaningless. The struggle in which people are, the struggle for happiness, the struggle for some place in this world under the sun, the struggle for position, these are all meaningless. If a person has not learned it to think correctly and properly, if he is not able to correctly interpret everything that is happening to him, everything that Krishna sends to him, whether good or bad, then what happens? He must come to one simple conclusion. I do not need all this, neither good nor bad. Instead of fighting the bad and surviving for the good, fighting both. Why? I need only Krishna. That's why. That is the conclusion. This is the conclusion that person should come. He should really does not just slide on the surface. Now, because it is very difficult, because the mind will constantly transform from one mode to another mode. That is why it is very problem. But Sudhir Goswami says in the end, there is a path. This is the path of yoga which we are doing. And at the end of life, Krishna comes with a test. He asks, okay, now what did you learn? We say, this is good, this is bad. Krishna says you failed. Again, sit in the exam. So attempt to understand something deeper. The meaning of life, material experience only is uh, only in this deep lesson, and Krishna want to teach us that lesson. Krishna calls for the board exam. He sends as a test, and come on, yes, what did you understand? And again we give the wrong answer. We say no, I want this, I don't want this, I want this. Every day we are telling Krishna same thing, and Krishna says, "Arey, sit down again, you failed." And he leaves for the second year, and again we are born again for this. Again we are having the same board exam. Again we say, "I like this, I don't like this," and Krishna says, "Again you are failing." But we should not fail. We should pass one day. Yeah, instead of fighting good or bad, we should know I don't need anything in this world, either good or bad. I only need Krishna. Now, anytime we are always trying to adjust the situations. Oh, this is not good situation. This is bad situation. This is good situation. We're trying to adjust so many things. But Krishna is telling, no, don't adjust anything. You just have need me only. That understanding. That is the what Sukadeva Goswami is trying to tell. When we come to that stage where I don't need good or bad of this world, I only need Krishna, then we have reached to the next level of meditation. When we properly meditate on the universal form, we should get to this conclusion. I don't need, I only need Krishna. It's all. That for Sukadeva Goswami concludes the first chapter of the second canto with this statement. That is the conclusion that you must make. If you make this correct conclusion, then your meditation will become more deeper. Then we'll not meditate on the temporary things of this world. Start meditating on Krishna. When we meditate, when we sit for chanting, we meditate on Krishna. Ah, yes, bro. You had some question. Gopinath Pranku?
It's true. You can hear me? Hare Krishna?
Yeah.
You can hear me, Prabhu?
Yes,
Dandavas
can
Pranam.
hear.
Please accept my humble obeisances.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, yeah, you are nicely narrating this particular point just now. But I was also thinking, see, you are saying that we should simply feel that we need only Krishna and nothing else in this world. Yeah, that is very true. But in my situation, what is happening is the things around me are so attractive, so interesting. It is just like the tongue has a taste, no? Like that. I'm not able to give up that taste. See, only when I don't like something, I may reject that and I'll say, okay, I don't need anything. But in this case, how to develop that kind of a thought and quality? You got my question, Prabhuji?
Yeah. This material world is, of course, it is very attractive for us because we have not seen the form of Krishna. That's why we get attracted to this material world. But what we have to learn from the Shastra is we have to hear from the Acharyas and get that realization. At least we should develop the desire that even though this material world is attractive and I have desire to enjoy, but ultimately I don't need this. I only need Krishna. That faith we should get. Even though the desire to enjoy in this material world is there, but we should
So,
always feel. Yes,
yeah.
bro.
So theoretically, we should at least start meditating and developing our mind in that way initially, you're saying.
At least theoretically, we should have that desire. Arey, I don't need it. Even if we are enjoying that, also, we should inside, we should feel, Arey, I am just
Mm.
unnecessarily satisfying my senses and mind. Even though this is all
Mm.
temporary, I'm just caught up with my mind and senses. Let me get
Mm.
out of this one day. And even while doing it, also, we can chant the holy name, Krishna. These are my conditionings. Let me get out of it. In that way,
Okay.
we will do it. At least theoretically, we should know that this is not what I want.
Okay. Sure,
By
Prabhu.
hearing this, then what happens? Our meditation becomes deeper. When we are chanting, our chanting becomes deeper because I don't need things of this world. Then the things of this world, even though they are attractive and we have conditioning, they will stop disturbing in our chanting at least.
Okay. Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes. Another question: the dualities we experience in this world, we should feel sorry. We cut off the relation with Krishna, and happiness comes only if I attain Krishna. Yeah, we have to at least theoretically know that this is not what I want, and then we will go for higher things. Even then, our meditation. That's what Sukadeva Goswami is trying to help us. You see, all the things which you are seeing, it's all connected to Krishna only. Now that means what you want, anything in this material world you are want, you only want Krishna. That's what the introduction, what is it, the forward by George Harrison in Krishna book. Everybody is looking for Krishna. And you know, oh, I'm looking for Krishna, and what I'm doing in the morning, sitting and chanting, I'm looking for Krishna. So I'm doing that right job like that. And if we make correct conclusions, then our meditation becomes deeper. And now the second chapter begins by describing how Brahma meditated. He says Brahma created this world through such meditation. Then Brahma, every time he wakes up after a long night, his night lasts for a very long time. He sleeps after his stormy day. Brahma is to manage the whole universe and all the people's karma, how much they have to enjoy, what type of body should come. Everything is decided by Brahma. And after managing, he experiences a lot of stress during the day and he sleeps very long time. And he wakes up and then he starts thinking, why am I here? What should I do? And then he need to create all these things again, and he forgets, then he'll meditate and he's creating as a job, he's meditating and doing. Now that is what the second chapter begins with Sukadeva Goswami, that Brahma creates his world through such meditation, and he recalls Krishna. Now he recalls that the essence of this world is to give the people the opportunity in this world to come in contact with Krishna. Despite that, they want something else in this world. They have so many other desires. They want everything else. But if a person can make this conclusion that this is the essence of the second chapter, that he, his meditation can become deeper if he truly correctly understands that everything happens in his life is according to the will of Lord, then gradually he can become more deeper. Inside his heart, into the spiritual reality, he feels Krishna. He understands that Krishna is behind everything, and not just understand that he is behind all, he also sees him in the heart. And this is what is the second chapter, the Lord in the heart. Now, not only understanding that he is doing everything, he also sees the Lord in the heart. Now, this is the natural result of our constant meditation on Krishna. When we start chanting slowly, slowly, we can see Krishna in our heart. And in the end, in the constant meditation on Krishna should lead to what? To receive his darshan in the heart. And if we don't get this for some reason, we don't, that means if we don't see Krishna and don't remember Krishna, it means we are doing something wrong. The process is some offenses are happening that we have discussed. Now, if a yogi sees the Lord in the heart, this is the beautiful form of Lord, and immediately gets attracted, he says, oh, very good, leave everything, go to the spiritual world. So he is focused and he moves. Generally, this is meditation, they do all this pranayama, dharana, dhyana, and all these things. And then when he wakes up, he sees the form of Lord, he is completely satisfied with it, then he don't want to see anything in this material world. But somebody in the krama mukti, and uh, he will he will see that, oh, I saw Krishna, but I don't need any. He does not, he feels that I don't need in one case. In another case, he says, Okay, that's good, but I just even after achieving samadhi, also he want to look around. He goes to Swargaloka and sees, okay, what Indra is doing with Apsaras, and then he's looking. Of course, he's not enjoying; he's observing and enjoying. And then what happens? Anantasesh releases the fire from his mouth, and then everything is burnt. Urosi became ashes. Indra became ashes. Then he understands. So I don't need this. Then he goes to Brahmaloka. That's what we have seen yesterday. So Brahmaloka, the duration of life is so long. And these yogis basically they have this, they get bored after. They're just prolonging their life. And then they get caught up. But when they go in the Krama Mukti, this is what is explained further, which we discussed yesterday. Because what happens, there are 72,000 channels in the body, and soul can live from any of these channels. But here it is said that we have to live from one single path, one single channel that leads beyond this material world, after out of the 72,000s. Uh, for this, yogi must rise to the from the Mooladhara chakra to Sahasra chakra. Each chakra he should go. Basically, what is this? This is the level of consciousness. Our level of consciousness can be at the level of Mooladhara chakra or even lower, and that can lead, and then it goes up. Because if somebody leaves the body in that way, he will become a very good sense enjoyer. That too in a gross level sense enjoyer. And but if we can live at Manipura chakra at the level of Anahara chakra or all these chakras which are mentioned, then he will be perfect. And he says that Sukadeva Goswami says that he stops his Sahasra chakra for 22.5 minutes, and then he leaves. In that case, this is the last stop he makes. Now there is another further explaining. Uh, you said in one lecture that Krishna's feet manifest first. Does this mean Krishna's form or his angas are revealed gradually, and one day uh, his whole life form is revealed? Yeah, yeah, yeah. For a devotee, that happens after Nama Rupa. Then slowly he will start getting darshan of Krishna's lotus feet while chanting. Suddenly you will start experiencing that bliss. You are seeing Krishna's lotus feet, and you don't want to come out of your chanting. You just want to chant whole day, looking at the lotus feet, and then you will see the thighs and waist of Krishna, and whole day you want to chant, seeing that form. And then one day, beautiful form of Krishna, and then we just with the tears in eyes we are just chanting, looking at the beautiful form of Krishna. Then the qualities of Krishna are revealed, how compassionate he is, how beautiful he is, and all. And then you start seeing the leelas, and Krishna is dancing with gopis and so many other leelas. That is leela smaran. Like that we can we can start getting darshan of Krishna, and you can start hearing the flute of Krishna. And then slowly then we are already in the spiritual world. Nothing in this material world attracts. No relationship, no name, fame, no food. Nothing makes any sense for us. You say, oh, what I need all these things. I just need Krishna only. So nice. Yeah, yoga is not like that. They go krama mukti. What happens is when they stop at Sahasra Chakra for 22.5 minutes, and then he leaves. In this case, this is the last stop. And the half murta, he focuses on the level of the highest chakra, and then he breaks through Brahmarandra, and he starts going up, and then he breaks through. Yeah. Now there are yogis uh, who says, "Where should I hurry up? Anyway, there is eternity ahead. I still have time." So these yogis try to see everything else that is there, and they are going to through the subtle body, and with the help of their mind, they go to higher and higher. And after Indraloka, which is destroyed, then they go to Brahmaloka, and there they stay for a very long time. And it is said that here Surya Goswami is saying 15 trillion 450 billion years they live. And then what happens? This is very interesting. There is some probably they live for such a long time, and they don't experience. The mind is absolutely calm, clear, and clean. And then not only that, they are not. They experience pricks of compassion of torment. Otherwise, they don't have any worries. They are free from suffering. They are free from everything because they are staying in Satyaloka. Satyaloka means what? They are able to see Satya. They are able to see the truth. Because they are able to see the truth, they are, when they see the suffering of the living entities in this material world, they become very unhappy, and that's why they feel some pain for them. Otherwise, they are completely happy there in the Satyaloka because they are seeing. And Prabhupada said about Jesus that Jesus Christ came from Brahmaloka. He felt compassion. He came from there, and they have the knowledge. This is the highest level of universe because the whole universe. And now, what happens from Brahmaloka in this Kramamukti? They start entering into the different. First is the covering of earth. So they enter into the covering of earth. Depending on, then they can start experiencing the uh, what is the element that what comes from earth is fragrance. So the sense of the fragrance which we have, you can experience maximum when you enter into this realm of universal covering. And now people make French perfumes and all. It is uncomparable with the pleasure you get with the help of your senses at this level. And uh, the what do you say, uh, senses you can experience. And then next is of when you enter into the realm of water covering. What is from water is taste. The taste is so high, we can never experience such taste. All the delicious which we are eating is uncomparable when you enter into the realm. I'm not advertising, no need to go there. We can go to spiritual world, but I am giving an idea. We'll not get up. Once you see Krishna, now all these senses, taste, and all that will be very dry only for us. So no problem. And then there is similarly all our senses, and then there is fire, and then there is touch, and then there is sound. All these things, maximum pleasure in different coverings of the universe. And then the highest will be ego, that is also covering. Like that, living entity experience so much pleasure, and at last he enters into the like the music comes, the musical sounds, and then all these music which we are hearing is no comparison. You'll experience such a high amount of music, and then at last we enter into the Brahma Jyoti. Not we, the living entities who want to go for Kramamukti, like that. And this is how the living entities go. But when they, now this Brahma Ananda which they are experiencing is millions of times more than what they experience at different levels of these layers coverings of this universe. Brahmananda is unlimitedly blissful, and that Brahmananda is like a drop of bliss compared to Vaikuntha pleasure. And compared to Vaikuntha's Goloka's pleasure, Vaikuntha cannot be compared only. That means when we see the form of Krishna, develop a relation with Krishna, we cannot imagine how much we will be ecstatic. And then what is the pleasure of this material world compared to all these things which we are discussing, right? Now we'll just cover few purports very interestingly also. This we have discussed. I'll just here we have seen yesterday, we have seen this part how the coverings are there. 9. Yeah, devotees have surpassed the subtle objects of different senses like aroma by smelling, the palate by tasting, vision by seeing form, touching by contacting with vibration of ears by ethereal identification, and the sense organ by material activities. Like this, he is going through the subtle coverings. Beyond the sky, there are subtle coverings resembling the elementary covering of the universe. So, in that way, he is enjoying all these things to a greater extent, and then he gives up and goes further and further and further. And then it is said, the devotee thus surpasses the gross and subtle form of covering, enter into the plane of ego here. This is the highest. And in that status, he merges the material modes of nature, ignorance and passion, into this point of neutralization, and thus reaches egoism in goodness. After this, all egoism is merged into Mahatattva, and he comes into the point of pure self-realization. And Prabhupada read, pure self-realization, as we have several times discussed, is the pure consciousness of admitting oneself to be the eternal servitor of the Lord. Thus, one is reinstated in his original position of transcendental loving service to the Lord, as will be clearly explained in the following verse. This stage of rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord without any hopes of emoluments from the Lord or any other way can be attained when the material senses are purified and the pure soul and the pure state of senses is revealed. It is suggested herein that the process of purifying the senses is by the yogic way, namely the gross senses are merged into the mode of ignorance and subtle senses are merged in mode of passion. The mind belongs to the mode of goodness, and therefore it is called Deva Maya or godly. Perfect purification of mind is made possible when one is fixed in the conviction of being the eternal servitor of the Lord. Therefore, simply attainment of goodness is also a material mode. One has to surpass this stage of material goodness and reach to the point of purified goodness or Vishuddha Sattva. This Vishuddha Sattva helps one to enter into the kingdom of God. Yes, Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just want to share something. Today is Lakshmi Dev Ratana. So I'm hearing and doing prasad for the deities. And today I experienced that every time I do Lakshmi Dev Ratana, I place Radharani and do puja. But yesterday when I was buying flowers and everything stuff, I was saying to my daughter that we should not do Lakshmi Devrat, please, means something like that. And today I experienced from morning, just I wanted to say, Prabhu. Can you enable my video?
Yes.
No, it was disabled, Prabhuji.
You can. Okay, I have to change the settings. Now you can. I think now you can do it.
No, Prabhuji, it is not.
Okay, now you can try.
Yes, Prabhuji. Say, Prabhuji. You can see now milk all over there. This is second time. When I was preparing prasad, it's second time, Prabhuji. Did I made any offense? I just want to clarify.
Oh, acha. No, Prince Mataji. Don't worry. Actually, Srimati Radharani is she only expands as she only expands as all the Lakshmis. The shloka is only like that. The shloka is from the Skanda Puran, which says that Lakshmi Srimati Radharani is the Sarvakanta Shiromani, and she is the Lakshmi, and she only expands as Lakshmi. So it is not offense. If you want to worship Lakshmi, means if you worship Radharani, you are worshipping all the Lakshmis of all Vaikunthas, all the Lakshmis who are there in the material world in different universes, all the planets. All Lakshmis are worshipped because all the Lakshmis come from Srimati Radharani only. Krishna expands as Vishnu, Radharani expands as Lakshmi. So originally, all these Durga Devi, Lakshmi, Saraswati, everybody worships one personality. They all worship Srimati Radharani. There is not offense. It is actually to make you understand Krishna is arranging the situation so that you will hear the philosophy nicely and you will understand that it is Krishna's arrangement for you to understand proper philosophy, and we should not be very emotional for anything. We know that I am chanting and Krishna is whatever is Krishna is doing, we should know it is because uh, to help us to become closer to him. That's all. If you are chanting Hare Krishna and if you are hearing everyday Bhagavatam, we should 100% be means it is sure that Krishna is only arranging our life. We need not be fearful of anything, and that is correct only. And it is not our words; it is Krishna's words only and Acharya's words. We should have faith on our. We should not faith on our own sentiments. We should have faith on what acharyas are telling, what Shastra is telling, right? Clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, but yesterday I made some offense that I told some story about why Lakshmi Devi is not entering Goloka, something like that. I thought of, I
That
made
is
some
true
offense
also.
about.
Lakshmi is not allowed. That is true also. Lakshmi is not. She is still doing tapasya in uh, uh,
I felt that today I am doing this by placing Radharani only, but I made some offense towards Lakshmi Devi, and I thought that the second time morning I started
no, no, no,
something.
no,
It's not
it's
one
not.
prasad also not completed, Prabhuji.
No problem. You now after this class, now you pray to Radharani and you do everything will be completed.
Thank you,
Radharani
Prabhuji.
want you to understand.
Uh,
Lakshmi Devi will not get offended because she
uh,
is Radharani only.
yes, Prabhuji.
We are praying correctly only. So don't get so much. Whereas, why you want to worship Lakshmi? If you worship only Lakshmi, now it is Ravana mentality. Because
Yes,
Ravana
Prabhuji.
only wants Sita, he didn't want Ram. But we want to worship Radha and Krishna both. Of course, we worship
This is
Radharani
not an
because
offense, na Prabhuji. Every day I do prasad, but this is like second time. So much of milk, I could not understand.
you
That's
purchase
why.
more milk and you make it more nicely. No problem.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you
Thank
make
you.
it. You make Radharani and she'll be happy.
Okay, okay.
This is we have to know that Lord is in our heart and He's seeing our sincerity. And if we are unknowingly doing anything, Lord is very merciful. He will not take. He will not get offended for something. Oh, you said this to me. You said this to me. This generally happens with demigods, but not with Krishna and Radharani. Yeah, maybe. I know. Even for when Yashoda is doing service to Krishna, milk is overflowing. So Yashoda went there and Krishna became upset. But that is all. Even milk is overflowing for Yashoda Mai also. Does not mean Lakshmi Devi is upset with her. No, Lakshmi is always serving lotus feet of Yashoda Mai. So overflowing is common. It's good, not a problem. Anytime you go into the new house, you want to make the milk overflow. It's considered auspicious. milk is overflowing, it is auspicious only. So don't worry. And we should know that demigods become upset like that. Krishna will never become upset for small things. Like, if mother is there, if child is doing little bit mischief here there, even the child becomes angry on mother. He beats the mother and he scolds the mother. Mother still forgives and brings the child in the lap and feeds the milk and gives food. Similarly, Krishna and Radha are mother and father, so they are not like any outside people. Don't get any fear like that. It has divorce. They become upset, like Indra became upset when his Nya is not done. But it is not case with Krishna like that. Krishna is very merciful father and very merciful mother. Radharani, they are not like that. Don't worry. And even if somebody becomes upset with us, they cannot do anything because we are hearing Krishna and chanting Krishna. So Indra became upset, or Brahma, he tried to test, and Shiva became upset. But with any other people, nobody could do anything because Krishna is supporting us. Nobody can tell you. Krishna is there. So if milk overflows, that is Krishna's arrangement. Hare Krishna. So today's Lakshmi Vrata, we we need not worship any of the way. People worship Lakshmi. They don't need Narayan. They just Lakshmi. That's why that is Ravana mentality. But we worship Radha and Krishna together. We want to serve them. We don't want to enjoy them. They want Lakshmi because they want to enjoy in this world. But why we want to serve Radharani? Why we worship? We want to serve them. We want more service. That's why we are worshiping. That's the difference. Generally, while translating from any Devata worship to Krishna, there is a kind of fear and insecurity in the mind. That's why such doubts arise. Yeah, yeah. True. First, I used to read every day Vishnu Sahasranama 2 times, and then I started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then, for some time, I felt little fearful. I said, "Arey, I have to leave this Vishnu Sahasranama. What will happen?" I said, "Okay, let it be. Krishna is there. Will take care." That's all. Vishnu did not get offended because I stopped Vishnu Sahasranama. Yeah. Now we come back to yogis. What yogis are doing. Prabhupada writes, we also remember in this connection the gradual emancipation by the devotee in the manner mentioned above, although authoritative, is not mm, able in the present age because of people's being primarily unaware of yoga practice. The so-called yoga practice by the professional protagonists may be psychologically beneficial, but a small success cannot help one in the attainment of spiritual emancipation as mentioned here. Yeah, this is very important. Now, the so-called yogas and classes we discussed previously also, they will help till a mental level. They will get some peace of mind because people are so much into stress and all. So they go to some vipassana and some breathing meditations, yogas that will definitely help people, but it is not going to really take them to a spiritual level. That is the difference. 530 years ago, when the social status of human society was in perfect Vedic order, the yoga process mentioned herein was a common affair for everyone because everyone, and especially the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, was trained in the transcendental art under the care of the spiritual master far away from home in the status of brahmacharya. Modern man, however, is incompetent to understand it perfectly. So this is what Prabhupada is telling. So now the yoga methods are there. People are getting benefited only to mental level. And then there is intellectual level, then there is level from the spiritual, which they cannot access only. They cannot do. For us, Bhagavad Gita is very nice meditation, at least on an intellectual level, we'll get a higher understanding. And then beyond that, we can many spiritual, like then gradually Krishna gives a spiritual understanding. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore made it easy for the prospective to the present in the following perfect manner. Ultimately, there is no difference in the result. The first and the foremost point is that one must understand the prime importance of Bhakti Yoga. What is that? Prema Pumato Mahan. We want to ultimately achieve love. That's all. You go through very, very hard process or easy process. Ultimately, if you get prema at the end of life, you are successful. Whether through forest or taking sannyas, or you be at home and peacefully chant whole day chanting, and you are able to read Bhagavatam and chant. And at the end of life, you can start developing some feelings for Krishna. You are getting that emotion for Krishna. That's all. But in the execution of different activities, one who secures some uh, resources in Bhakti Yoga can understand the importance of service to the Lord through the causeless mercy of Lord, and as well as that of the spiritual master. The sincere soul is helped by the Lord through the meeting of bona fide spiritual master, the representative of Lord. By the instructions of such a spiritual master, one gets the seed of Bhakti Yoga. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that the devotee sow the seed of Bhakti Yoga in the heart and nurture it by the watering of hearing and chanting the holy name, fame, etc. of the Lord. The simple process of offenseless chanting and hearing the holy name of Lord will promote one very to the stage of emancipation. These are the three stages in chanting the holy name. Is offenseless chanting, second is reflective, this nama bhas, and there is shuddham. And then Prabhupada down he will start giving the 10 offenses. Not 10 offenses, he does, there are 4 important considerations he gives, very important, please listen. Not 4, he gives how many? 8. 8 considerations. What is telling? Offenses by one at the feet of a pure devotee may be likened by the mad elephant who devastates a very good garden if it enters. First thing. Second is, one must be very careful to guard himself against such offenses at the feet of pure devotee, just as one protects a creeper by all round fencing. Why we are not able to, like Prabhupada says that you already got this the in the previous pair I didn't read, but where Prabhupada says that you already got and we can creeper of bhakti, and gradually we can nurture. By systematic nurturing, the creeper will grow such an extent that it will penetrate the covering of universe, as we have heard in the previous verses, which reach the effulgent sky, the Brahmajyoti, and go further and further and reach the spiritual sky where there are innumerable spiritual planets called Vaikuntha Loka, and above all of them is Krishna Loka, Goloka, wherein the creeper, growing creeper enters and takes repose at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. But for that, Prabhupada says there is some problem. So what is the problem? Offenses. And these are the 8 things we need to take care. Prabhupada is giving very few times Prabhupada is point wise. This is the part where he's point wise he's telling. These are the things. Don't offense at the pure feet of pure devotees, mad elephants. And Prabhupada says one must be very careful to guard against such offenses, the feet of a pure devotee. Just as a protector of all offenses. And then he says, if so happens that watering process, some weeds are grown, and unless such weeds are uprooted, the nurturing of main creeper, the creeper of Bhakti Yoga, may be hampered. So, what is weeds? They are name, fame, adoration, distinction. So, we start working on them instead of working on the Bhakti. Actually, these weeds are material enjoyment, merging of the self in the absolute without separate individuality, and many other desires in the field of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and emancipation. And then fifth one, purpose, there are many ways like disobedience of the revealed scriptures, unnecessary engagements, killing animals, and hankering after material gains, prestige, and adoration. Sixth one is if sufficient care is not may also help to breed the weeds, stunning the healthy growth of the main creeper and resulting in no fructification of the ultimate requirement. What is that? Love of God. Seventh is devotees must therefore be very careful to uproot the different weeds in the very beginning. Only then will the healthy growth of main creeper not be stunned. And the last one is And by so doing, the devotee is able to release the fruit of love of God and thus live practically with Lord Krishna even in this life and be able to see the Lord in every step. The highest perfection of life is to enjoy life constantly in the association of the Lord, and one who can relish this does not aspire after any temporary enjoyment of the material world via other media. And we have just few more. In this also Prabhupada gives very interesting thing. Only the purified soul can attain the perfection of association with the personality of Godhead in complete bliss and satisfaction in his constitutional state. Whoever is able to renovate such devotional perfection is never again attracted by this material world and he never returns. We should specifically note in this verse the description of Gatim Bhagavat, the case of Parabrahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described with the Brahmavadis impersonation, is not Bhagavatam perfection. Bhagavatas never accept merging in the impersonal race of the Lord, but always aspire after personal association with Supreme Lord in one of the Vaikuntha spiritual planets in the spiritual sky. The whole of spiritual sky, of which the total number of material skies is only a insignificant part, is full of unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets. And further Prabhupada writes, the impersonalists who aspire to merge into the impersonal Brahman effulgence of Supreme Lord, but have no conception of loving devotional service to him in his personal form in the spiritual manifestation, may be compared to certain species of fish who, being born in the rivers and rivulets, merge to the great ocean. They cannot stay in the ocean indefinitely, for they argue for the urge for sense gratification bring them back to the rivers and streams to swim. Similarly, when in the materialistic become frustrated in his attempt to enjoy himself in the limited material world, he may seek impersonal liberation by merging either in the causal ocean or with the impersonal Brahman effulgence. But he will not be happy in the means, of course, from Brahmajyoti he will not fall down, but in the present state, whatever he thinks as mukti, from that state he can fall down. And this quite proper, simple, we have read many times. Points. We'll go further. We have 2, 3 more shlokas. Your Majesty, Maharaj Parikshit, know that I have described. Yeah, this is next 2 shlokas are important. After this shloka, Your Majesty, Maharaj Parikshit, know that I have described in reply to your proper inquiry is just according to the version of the Vedas, and it is eternal truth. This was described personally by Lord Krishna unto Brahma, with whom the Lord was satisfied upon being properly worshipped. So he is telling now, this is actually a conclusion. That's why we say the second chapter, in one way, he answered all the questions. Bhagavatam is ending here. One ending is there already. And then he says, for those who are wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what aims to the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. That's what this shloka says. So nahi ato shivat panta swata samsvata iha vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yoga yato bhavet. And then the last 2 shlokas are the conclusion. 36 and 37 are the conclusions. So we'll just read this 34 and 35. The great personality Brahma, with great attention, now he is giving the example of Brahma. With great attention and concentration of mind, studied the Vedas 3 times. This is a very interesting thing, and we need to understand. Brahma studied Vedas 3 times. After scrutinizingly examining them, he ascertained that attraction for the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, is the highest perfection of religion. What happened is Brahma first he studies the Vedas, then he gets the understanding that, oh, yes, good, I understand. Karma is the purpose of Vedas. That means we need to enjoy in this material world by properly performing, following all the rules and regulations. If you follow the rules and regulations that are given in the Vedas properly, you can enjoy in this material world. Then again he reads the second time. That time he gets the conclusion that jnana is the purpose. That means to get liberated from this material world is the purpose of Vedas. That's what he gets understanding. And third time he reads. After reading third time, he gets an understanding. Oh, bhakti is the means. That is the purpose of Vedas. Like this, three times he got the third time he got the right conclusion. Now we need not read all the Vedas. We just have to take the conclusion what Brahma got. That's what Sukadeva Goswami is telling. After reading three times, he got this conclusion. He ascertained that attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the highest perfection of religion. So instead of reading all the Vedas, Brahma with his four heads, so much intelligent, he did the conclusion. We need not do any research. We just have to follow Brahmaji. He says the personality of God, Sri Krishna, is in every living being along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and uh, hypnotized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. This point, tomorrow I will elaborate what this shloka means, 35. I will not do it because it's a very nice understanding how to see this perspective. I will tell tomorrow. Yes, Skill Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, this concept of Lord Brahma reading the Vedas 3 times. When you say reading Vedas, that's like figurative sense, right? Because back then nothing was written, right? Everything was oral.
Yeah. Reading means it is there in his, he's there, he's trying to, what do you say, contemplate on the Vedas. He contemplated on the Vedas, came to this conclusion. Again, he contemplated, again, he come to the second conclusion like that.
So these 3 times that he's contemplating, I'm trying to understand when that really happened because in the beginning, when Lord Brahma was in the dark, he didn't understand what was up, what was down, and he heard the sound tapa, right, or something like that. And then he did the austerities, and then I guess Krishna, Krishna revealed the Vedas in his heart or something.
Yeah, Tene Brahma Hrityadi Kaviye. Yes.
So after Krishna revealed the Vedas in his heart, that means that at first he, even though it was revealed in his heart, I mean, then it makes me wonder what does revealed actually mean if he had to contemplate it 3 times and still, before he properly understood. So after Krishna, I guess placed or revealed the Vedas in his heart, he contemplated once, then twice, then thrice. Is that how it happened? All in the first day or something? I don't know. I wonder.
We don't know when it happened, but what is contemplation is like you heard about something. Now you are again trying to analyze what you have heard. Oh, I heard that we are not the body spirit soul. Let me think again. Is it same thing? Like that you are again contemplating. So it is already there in your memory, but you are trying to analyze it more and more on it.
Okay. And this 3 times contemplating, this he did that before he started with the secondary creation?
Yes, secondary creation is what Brahma is. Before that, and we don't know when he did, but whenever he did, this is what he got conclusion.
So when you say we don't know when he did, we don't know if he
Because it is
if
not
he
mentioned,
finally
it is said in the beginning. That's all. What Sudhir Goswami says that he just mentions the great personality with he did concentrate study on the 3 times. That's all he mentioned. He didn't mention the timeline when he did.
oh,
Whenever he did, he got the conclusion. So it does not matter for us. He did in the beginning, first day, last day, which day. Whereas
no,
the
because I mean I would think that for some reason I'm thinking that it would make a difference if he understood the Vedas properly before he started with the creation, you know. I would think that he should understand that properly before he began creation. But I don't know,
uh,
maybe it's not
because
necessary.
other Brahmas, they are not devotees. So they don't have that conclusion. So they are creating and maintaining anyway without having this understanding. No,
Oh, really? They aren't devotees? The
no, not
others?
all Brahmas are pure devotees. They are Karma Mishra, Yoga. Not every
Really?
Brahma is a
Oh,
pure devotee. In other universes, they are not pure devotees. Our Brahma is pure devotee.
yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right. This next shloka is very technical. I will not do it now. We'll just next 3 verses maybe we can take tomorrow, but these 2 verses we'll read because they are very important. तस्मात् सर्वात्मना राजन् हरे सर्वत्र सर्वदा श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यो भगवान्. And then this is Pibanti ye Bhagavata Atmanasatam Katam Katamritam Sharnaputeshu Sambritam Punanti te Vishaya Vidushita Shayam Rajanti Tacharana Sarorihantikam. Yes, Sarita Mataji. Take class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, our Brahma is Haridas Thakur, na?
He comes as Haridas Thakur.
No, he is only, na?
Yes, he's
Okay, thank you.
great. Yeah, there is another question in the chat box that if our goal is attaining Krishna Prem for the sake of family, if I do this ritual without asking anything other than Krishna with this mood, we can do, yes, we can chant Radhika Ashtakam also. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.